I'm most pleased to have the Once here with me today, and that's Andrew Dale, Geraldine Hollett, and Phil Churchill. How are y'all?
Good. Feeling good.
Excellent.
We're happy to have Bill Garrett here today.
Well, thank you kindly. We're all happy to be here. First of all, I want to ask you about the name, because I know it's a Newfoundland expression. So, give her.
Well, yeah, it's a term back home. The expression that's more commonly used is actually "now the once," or back home it's more like "now the once," which we all kind of were familiar with, and I think most of us used it, kind of growing up, or at least heard of it.
Parents,
right?
Yeah,
right.
I know I use it all the time growing up, and we were sat around one evening trying to come up with a name,
right?
And we weren't really having a lot of success, so Phil got the idea to take out the dictionary of Newfoundland English.
Right.
And yes, there's actually a dictionary of Newfoundland English. So we took it out. We started kind of leafing through the pages, trying to come up with some inspiration. And again, I think it was Phil turned the page at one point and read out "the once." We thought it's kind of cool, keeping kind of keeps with the band names with "the" in it, Yeah, well, that was the thing. Like we saw it, we thought it sounded kind of cool, but we didn't really identify with right away. And then Phil started reading the definition, and I was like, "Oh, the once, like now the once," which basically means right away,
right away,
in a hurry, like when when are we going to do that interview, Bill? We'll do that now the once.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
Yeah. So it kind of stuck. It was the only name that night that we all actually kind of liked.
It has
it had a
nearly nothing
factor.
to do with the with the band.
With the band.
Yeah.
No. It's just something that at around 3 in the morning.
It describes our music perfectly.
Who hates it?
Right away.
No hands went up. It's like, all right, we're the ones.
That's it. That's it. Well, it works. It works. It works.
Well, it was more like the next day when we all got up. It was like,
still hate
so
it.
that one, the once? Is that still all right? Yeah, all right, we'll go down.
Yeah.
Call it in.
Yeah.
Given that you make so much great music together, I think it's pretty interesting that you didn't really meet at a musical event. It was more at a theatrical.
I guess Southern Newfoundland.
We met at a theater vehicle for getting your stamps, basically.
It's it's
Trinity,
placed in Trinity, and it's a summer theater festival,
right.
and we met there in different years. Like we worked together one year, then you guys worked together one year, and then
the third year
I
was
showed
the
up, and then we all sang a song together, and then it was
right. So was this straight theater, or was it what kind of theater?
No, there's a bit of a music element in it too. Basically, it's one of these sort of mass hiring efforts. Just kind of hire a big blanket of people, and then when they get there, just to find out what they can do.
Okay.
Throw them into a room together.
Can anybody play a guitar? Can anybody? So usually, the way we ended up starting out was, you guys all sing, yeah. You guys play some instruments, yeah. Do you have any songs that you do together? No, but I mean, we could come up with some. It's like, okay, good, because you have a show tonight at 8. So if you could come up with something sooner rather than
No, he's
later.
not exagerating.
Really?
That actually happened.
No pressure, but
So we just kind of
8 o'clock
grabbed the first couple things we could.
No, that's one prerequisite right across the board for hiring is you can't be prone to pressure.
Yeah, right.
Or stress easily, because you're in those kinds of situations pretty much daily.
So now that the music has become a pretty big focus, is there still going to be some time for theater work, or you still have
There
a
has
bit
been
of?
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pretty active still.
I'm still pretty involved, and there's a couple different shows that I travel with and tour with.
That's great.
It's obviously as schedules get tighter. I mean, it's one of those things that when if you come out of university and you start a whole bunch of different little ideas, and there's plenty of time to do everything, and then I guess in a weird sort of way, in terms of your schedule, the worst thing that can happen is that all these things start doing well,
right?
And then everything is kind of bashing into each other.
The album has got a really nice mix of traditional music and contemporary songs, other songwriters. Is that something that just happened naturally, or is it something you want to keep doing?
So.
Yeah,
it
wasn't really a conscious effort. It was kind of just it just kind of came out of a group of songs that we just kind of learned, through the jigs and reels over over the few years.
Yeah,
you
nothing
know?
on that is like, oh, we need a Canadian contemporary song.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what would really make it? It's just that's basically. I mean, on any given night before we made that album, that could have been set one
Right.
of 2 or 3 sets. You know.
When we went in to do the album, we knew pretty much what we were doing. We had stuff to cut all over the place, so we were ready to do our album when we did it.
That's great.
So it wasn't hard at all.
That's
We
a good
have
position.
we have like just enough songs to make an album, so let's do those.
And musically, like our
No, it wasn't like
Yeah,
like,
okay.
our backgrounds too. You know, we grew up on kind of different music. I think you know there's always the same sort of stuff that was floating around. You know, I'm sure we all heard the Pogues, and we all heard like similar sort of stuff in that way. But I think your background, you're probably the most into sort of Celtic and traditional music in that way. I'd say you probably have the biggest catalog inside your head, and I know you were a bit more country in that way, and I grew up
Country.
just on rock and roll. I was very late bloomer in terms of that. So because of that, the songs that we're all bringing forward are going to be pretty different and spanning some pretty different years.
but not just the songs, the approach too.
Yeah, sure.
Which is kind of neat too. Like from just those 3 kind of genres that Phil just mentioned alone. I mean, those are 3 kind of different mindsets when musically.
Yeah.
So so it makes a kind of a neat mix. When we are working on sort of a neutral song, and trying to arrange it.
Right.
Yeah,
Because there's elements. You get elements of.
You're
of all
playing
that
Irish
stuff.
bouzouki and a bit of mandolin on one, and then on the next track, I'm downstairs with a
Like-
big hollow body guitar turned up on liquefy and just
Right.
getting this
Right,
huge
right.
amount of feedback out of it and stuff like that to create
And it
sort of a
happens
drone.
kind of
and
natural.
it's
too.
pretty organic,
Yeah.
But
We're
is
fortunate
really
that
nice.
way, yeah. Like kind of, and that's why we're still doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was too hard, we'd give it up. But
Yeah.
we would have.
I mean,
Or if
yeah,
you
things
all
kinda just
came
clicked
from the
initially.
same sort of background, it wouldn't be as interesting, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it works out pretty good so far. So far.
So
Far. Are any of you writing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constant.
Really, eh?
we are working on that, yeah. Yeah, we want
Writing's
to.
excruciating and awesome and excruciating and excruciating and awesome.
I think part of it too is that we had original stuff that we wanted to go for the first record.
They weren't
and,
ready.
And yeah, a lot of them weren't ready, and so we thought maybe the best thing to do is just go with what we've been playing live and we know works. And then we get into the kind of sticky situation on the second album where there's the amount of people who tell us what should be on the second record. Oh, don't forget about these people. It's like, well, there's maybe not as much traditional on this one. We're thinking, oh, you can't do that because you have a lot of traditional fans and you'll alienate them. So, okay, well then.
And then other
maybe we'll
people
go to
will
that.
ask, so you are going to have some original stuff on this one, right? Because it's time for some original stuff, isn't it?
It's like, well, yeah, there is some
Well,
original stuff on the
maybe.
first one too, but just thanks for reading the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for caring.
Right.
I'm Phil.
But we put a lot of pressure on ourselves too, because I mean, it's sort of a blessing and a curse. When you're doing a lot of like folk and traditional repertoire, I mean, these are songs that have been tried, tested, true for like, in some cases centuries.
Right.
So you're trying to write original material that can hold up with that stuff. And
It's a tall
like,
task.
It's set a pretty high standard, right?
yeah,
So
right.
so suddenly you're writing. I mean, in a way, it'd almost be easier if we put out an album of original material, because then it's all that the same sound.
Right.
But when you're trying to incorporate original material with some of this, kind of more classic material, it's pretty hard to, to kind of meet
Some
a
would
balance.
argue
Right?
that album 2 is the time to do that anyway, because everyone's going to hate album 2 anyway, no matter how
No
much
matter what you do,
oh, album 2.
everybody's got their say for that
So
one.
now you're going to start recording album 2 pretty soon.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In the new year, yeah.
In the new year.
I think in our
Fantastic.
heads we've already started recording it a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That's great. That's really great. You're going to be touring Ireland this fall, as well as Western Canada. What about south of the border? Is that,
We just got an agent,
right.
so yeah.
Right. So that's in the
Hopefully
future
very
at
soon.
some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah, that'll be happening in the new year too.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's
If we can go
excellent.
anywhere in the world, we want to be taken anywhere in the world. That's what.
Yeah, there's no specific preferences. It's kind of like just anywhere, bring it on.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for this.
No problem.
you're
Thanks a lot,
Thanks
Phil.
for having us.